of anger. It is a deep psychological and societal failure rooted in power, silence, fear, and entitlement. And as the numbers rise, so does the urgent question: why are we? And why are we here, and why do we keep coming back to this conversation after more lives are lost? Now this morning we break that silence. We look beyond headlines and police reports to examine the psychology behind gender-based violence, the trauma it leaves behind, the warning signs we miss, the scars we cannot see, and the minds that justify harm. We'll talk about women, men, and children, domestic workers, online spaces, and the hidden wounds that follow survivors long after the violence ends. Now this is not a comfortable conversation, but it is a necessary one. Joining us this morning is a counseling psychologist, someone who sits with survivors, listens to perpetrators, and understands the human mind, where violence begins and where healing must also start. Now, if you're watching and you are hurting, if you are silent, if you are afraid, this conversation is for you. And if you're watching and you believe this is not your problem, stay with us, because it is. My name is Martin Masharia. Welcome to Morning Live. Joining me in studio this particular morning is Esther Omweno, who is a counseling psychologist. Good morning, Madam Esther.
Morning to you.
Many thanks for making time to be with us here this particular morning. All right, now even as we build the basis of this particular conversation, do tell us who is Madam Esther Omweno.
Yeah. My name is Esther Omweno. Omweno is my husband. I'm a mother. I'm a counseling psychologist.
All right. And speaking of gender-based violence, gender-based violence, how does it manifest from relationships and families? Having in mind that we've seen most of these cases, especially this particular year. How does gender-based violence manifest in relationships and families?
Gender-based violence is common in women, but in men it is not common because they don't report cases. This gender-based violence, it manifests from families. There are so many factors contributing to gender-based violence. One is poverty. When poverty and the lack of responsibilities. When in a family, one fails to provide to do the responsibilities they are supposed to do, now gender-based violence comes in. It also comes in when the cultural practices, like men are given more power than women in some communities. Now that they are given more power, they feel that they are more superior than even women. They manipulate women in the family. In families, yeah. Gender-based, when I talk about gender-based violence, it is broad. We have gender-based and domestic violence.
All right.
Domestic violence is within the family members, the parents, siblings, relatives, within the family setup. And gender-based is abroad, like it can happen to workplace, churches, schools, even community, yeah.
All right, now at that point, looking at the statistics, 129 women killed in just 3 months. Right, and from a psychologist point of view, what does a number like that say about who we are as a society?
According to the statistics, the number which is given there, it is not the correct number because some of the cases are not reported. Those are the reported cases. As a country where we are, gender-based violence, it is becoming a disaster because every day there is someone losing a life through gender-based violence. Mostly women. We saw there's a time every day in our news reporting, there's a reported case. Someone has lost life through gender-based violence. Yeah. So it is something which the government is going to consider as a crisis, and to make measures to curb this gender-based violence. Because if the government will not come in and put the right measures, we are heading into the wrong direction, because the coming generation now is going to have a lot of fear. Even in relationships, there will be no trust, because you can see even femicide. When you are in a relationship, you don't know who you are dealing with. You have seen so many girls losing their lives because they trust a man, because of love. They love each other. Yeah, so this girl does not have something in mind that this man will come back and turn to hurt me. So it ends up hurting someone, killing someone. So it is not something which is good. It has to be taken into account. Yeah.
And as someone who has dealt with trauma firsthand, what really drives the surge in femicide? Is it rage, control, mental illness, or something from ingrained? What really causes, the surge in femicide during the years?
What causes? There's a lot of things happening, like in relationships. You find that nowadays, relationships, most people in relationships, they have their targets. When you join together as lovers, there are so many things that it brings you together. You consider the stability. There is less called unfaithfulness. It is the major reason why femicide is on the rise. Because if you are not satisfied in one relationship, it will force you to go for another one. Yeah. And if you are going to double deal people, and that's where femicide comes in, because you are not trustworthy. And this man does not want to lose you. What he can do, better kill you or kill himself, so that you don't go to another person.
And speaking about domestic disputes, many of these murders are related to domestic disputes. And why is home meant to be the safety or the safest place, turning to the most dangerous places? Why is that?
It is true that homes have turned to dangerous places. There are so many factors, because in a family, the first thing, if there is no proper communication in a family, obviously there is a breakdown. When there is a breakdown, people remain with wounds, which they cannot explain. We have unsolved issues in families. You find that in families, someone is being abused emotionally, physically, even sexually. Yeah. When this happens, and this person he cannot be able, or she cannot be able to get a space where she or he can express himself or herself, you see, he keeps that thing in the heart. So the way you pile things until now it is enough. You feel now enough is enough. That's now you show emotions now. You see, you start changing in behavior. That's why you see in families, men, there's a lot of killings, men killing wives, because they don't speak, they don't come out to speak about what they are going through. Unlike women, we share with other women, then you feel that now you are relieved. Because as a psychologist, what I know, sharing is half solved. When you share, it's like you are floating there from your heart. So in families, you find that if anything that happens without proper, if there is a conflict, you don't solve it in a light way.
Yeah.
So it keeps on piling. That is why you find people expressing anger. Small things, you express your anger in a way which is not supposed to be done. Now you find that you are violent. That's how children are now in fear, because they see fathers and their fathers and their mothers fighting, quarreling, arguments. That's why our families are not safe. Yeah.
And speaking about families, is femicide usually a sudden explosion of violence, or are there any, clear psychological warning signs that, we continue to ignore until, it's too late? Do you think, most of maybe women, and speaking about GBV, it cuts across even men, and do you think there are psychological warnings or signs that, we continue ignoring until it's too late?
Yeah, there are so many psychological signs.
Yeah.
Like in a family, if someone used to be very talkative, very jovial, all of a sudden you see this person has withdrawn.
Yeah.
Now he feels like there is a kind of isolation. He's not interested in what he or she used to do. That is one sign that tells you that all is not well. Like you used to do things together, and it comes now, you cannot sit together and plan something as a family. Even in finances, sometimes you used to, like this time of hard economic time,
Yeah.
you find that the way you used to have a lot of money doing this and this, but now, because of the economy and there is no money, now the life has started changing. When life starts changing, if there is no proper communication in the family, now that we are here, you sit down, say that we used to do this and this, but because of this, now our earnings is not that large, it is low. Let us now adjust. If you don't adjust to that life, you cannot, things are not going to be okay, because the life you used to have, you have to adjust. Now, if you don't adjust, you see there is also a crisis, because if you don't adjust, and you want that life and there is no that money, you start having stress. This stress, you start having stress, you don't want to, you feel that your partner is failing, you feel that your life is difficult. Yeah, that is the signs that things are not going okay.
All right, and when you speak about gender-based violence, it's not necessarily, femicide or becoming physically brutal. Sometimes, it extends to social media. Someone can, can violate someone's right through social media, and we'll come to that. Now, in just 1 year, Kenya has recorded more than 1,300 defilement cases and more than 600 rapes. Right, and psychologically speaking, what does sexual violence do to a survivor, especially when the survivor is a child?
Yeah, sexual abuse, more especially in a child, it is very traumatizing. Last month, we had what we call Children's Service Month. It is a service month given to children who are in conflict with the law by judiciary. So I was one of them, one of the counselors who was attached to Kisii Law Court, Ogembo Law Court. So when you see what is happening even in courts, the defiling cases are alarming. You see, when a young child is being raped or defiled, when a young child is defiled, this child will not be normal as usual. they start trauma, because what has happened is not something she expected.
Yeah.
From there, this child needs healing. But you see, the perpetrators, they are still at large. Sometimes they go to, they are being arrested, then they come out of bond. When they come home, and the girl is also in the same locality, you see, this girl will not heal at all. Still, you will be seeing that incident. Whenever she goes, more especially if it happens at night, when it comes at night, this girl will not sleep. So the survivors of this, what we encourage, if there is a girl who is a survivor, she's not supposed to stay near to perpetrators. She's supposed to go to a rescue center or a children's home until the case is over. More cases, I've seen parents, when their daughter is defiled, what they do, they start a negotiation with the perpetrator. So, even if you are compensated, you will not compensate the life of that girl. That girl psychologically, she's very much disturbed. So, it is good for the perpetrators to go through the court process and find justice. The reason why they are taken to court, it is to stop these cases. Because if they will not be punished, they will continue doing it to other people, and the process will continue.
All right, and speaking about the corridors of justice, it will be remembered that in 2021, an athlete from Eldoret was actually murdered by the husband, that is Tirop. She was a young lady. She was murdered at 25. And, the alleged perpetrator, who is alleged to be the husband, was arrested on his way to Mombasa. And he was later released on a cash bill of 400,000. And speaking about, perpetrators of these cases remaining at large, or they are being arrested and they are released on bond or cash bill, in the fight against gender-based violence, do you feel like, our justice system is failing us?
Yeah, our justice system is failing us because if you release this perpetrator, you are interfering with the witnesses. Because if this person is out, he can do anything to cover the witnesses. So our system, our justice system, if possible, they are not supposed to release the perpetrators. They are supposed to retain them until the case is over. Because I remember that story of that athlete. It was all over, and it was really disturbing. Someone from scratch, God has helped that girl to that level. The only hope in that family, and someone in the name of love kills the girl. It is even the parents. It is not easy because psychologically they are really struggling. So to myself, if I was in that system, justice system, there are things I could have considered, like I do prison counseling, and 60% of men in prison right now, they are there because of defilement. What does it tell you? Many people, those are reported cases. It shows that defilement cases, they are on the rise. And when these people comes, it is not even the same case. Someone is in jail because of defilement. It is not even the first time. He is there in 3 counts of defilement. And this person can get out of that jail because of he has money. So do you think if we allow them, when they have committed the offenses, then they come out? You see, it is like it is going round, until now we are not able to curb this mess.
And speaking about defilement and rape, research shows that nearly 1 in 3 girls and almost 1 in 5 boys experience sexual violence before the age of 18 years. And the question is, why is childhood such a dangerously vulnerable stage?
For me, I see it is parenting also contributes a lot, yeah? Because we parents, we are so much committed that we are not concerned about our children whereabouts. Like in this holiday, most parents, they have taken their children to relatives. They are staying there. So this child who is staying with their aunt, how sure are you that this girl is safe or this boy is safe? And the perpetrators of these children who are defiling these children, they are our relatives, our friends. When we trust people with our children, that is one risk we make. Because this is the uncle, this is the cousin, we should also create awareness to our children to know that what they are supposed to do in case they see danger. When you tell a child, this is your uncle, the child takes uncle as someone who is very close. So even if he is with that uncle, he has no problem. But the uncle turns to be appeased. Let me use it, because when you are a human being like an uncle, then you defile your own child, your own relative. That is not human. So what is the parenting, the way we do parenting is also contributing. Social media is contributing, because these children, they are so exposed to social media. They watch videos, they chat. We don't know whom they chat to. These strangers, they invite them, come, I buy you sweets. You see, that is how they get caught in that mess.
All right, and despite the scale of this crisis, many victims remain silent. From where you sit, what do you think, or rather, why do you think the victims remain silent? Especially when gender-based violence cut across even men, children, and women. Many a times when a man goes to report a case, reporting the wife, many a times men actually fear to go and report the wife because of gender-based violence, because many a times when you case with a lady, the chances are the lady will win the case. And from where you sit, why do you think most of the victims, fear or remain silent?
The victims who remain silent, most of them, they are men. They remain silent because of stigma. Men feel that when they seek help, it is a sign of weakness.
Yeah, true.
They feel that when they come to report GBV case, they consider so many things. They want to remain the head of the family. Yeah. And now here is the head of the family who is going to report that he has been abused. How? Now they feel so ashamed. And again, in most cases, in most communities, they feel like men should be strong. When men are supposed to be strong, and now they are going to report a case like that one, you see, they show that they are not strong. Yeah. But the current statistics shows that men also suffer a lot than women. We have so many men who are suffering from GBV, but they don't come out. What they do, they are left abandoned. They are left taking care of the children. The wives left, and they are alone. They struggle alone psychologically. But for women, they come out. Those who don't come out, it is because of the family setup. Sometimes in a family setup, you can be abused, but you are told that if you are going to report this, you are going to expose our family. So what do? you keep quiet because you don't want to expose that family. That's when they are not they don't report the cases.
All right.
Yeah.
And you know, when childhood sexual trauma goes untreated, you know, how does it resurface later in life, in relationships and of course in families? And how does it affect them later on in life?
When childhood
trauma goes untreated.
Yeah. What happens when it goes untreated? These children, when they come adults, they will even fail to get married because every time they look back, they remember what they used to see. So when it comes to marriage, they think that even if they are going to get married, they are going to face the same. Again, it also affects them because socially they will have low self-esteem because every time they go out there with friends, they feel that they are known what happened. You see, when something has happened to you, and you see these gender-based cases, they are not hidden. Most of them, they are reported, and you know, so and so went through this. So when they are grown up, still that thing, that fear they have in them that, yes, so and so might know what happened to me. There is that fear. They grow up in fear. They also they lose trust. Every time they are with maybe friends, they don't have trust because of what happened. They trusted people and they turn to harm them. Yeah.
Now let's talk about, you know, technology. And troubling report shows that 64% of female students have experienced online gender-based violence. Now, from a psychological perspective, does abuse behind, you know, the screens damage a person as deeply as, you know, physical violence?
Yeah, you know, physical violence is different from emotional.
Yeah.
Physical, you can see what happened, where you are hurt. But the emotional ones, they are wounds that are not speaking, they are dormant. But when it comes to when the healing takes place, it takes long, but they need counseling. They need a lot of conversations from experts so that they can understand what they are going through. Right now, there is this digital bullying. It is happening a lot. You see most of our young people, they want to be rich quickly. Now you find a girl, she's dating online. If I'm a man, I can put a photo, my profile photo, a good car, a good house. So when you look at my profile, see, you will see this person is worthy. So that is how they become victims. They end up meeting these strangers physically after some conversations, and that's how they get being harmed. So what I can say, these young people, if they can change their attitude and they work hard, we can reduce these cases. Even young people, young men, they are online day and night. They are looking for sponsors. If they see you with a good profile, they will say, hi, how are you? May I know you? You see, and even the ladies who are there to bull these young people. So these are the goons. Most of people, they have been conned to do online. But because of shame, they will not say that I was conned. They just keep it to themselves. What do you think? They are suffering inside, but they cannot say it. That is how they end up committing suicide. they end up to develop depression. Yeah.
All right, and even as we wind up, I want you to, tell us about, from where you sit as a psychologist, what tools can people use to cope with, and, what channels, someone may be abused, sexually abused or, violated his or her rights. People don't know the proper channels to follow. So from where you sit in a family point of view, what are the psychological, tools that you can, tell them, and the channels that people, victims of gender-based violence, can follow so that they seek justice?
Okay. The gender-based GBV victims, they are supposed to report the cases. They can report the cases to the nearest police station. They can call 1195 is a free toll station where you can call and get help. Because if they will not report these cases to the nearest police station, and they fear, maybe they get ashamed, what they can do, they can use a friend to go to accompany them to the police station and report the abuse. In Kenya, GBV is so much common. So when you report the abuse, you are not alone. You find there are so many people suffering the same. There are so many organizations working with GBV. I and my friend, we have a CPO called Vision Afrique. Yeah. We help gender victims, GBV victims. We do awareness about GBV. So when you go to these organizations, they will help you. Because when you go there, they will treat it as a normal thing. They will even put you, they will even have a support group where gender-based violence victims meet and share their ordeals.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Even as you wind up this particular program, because of the interest of time, thank you so much for being with us here on the program. We do appreciate. And even as we come to the end of this particular conversation, one truth remains painfully clear. GBV does not begin with a blow. It begins with silence. And should gender-based violence, should gender-based violence ever come to stop, it won't stop because we spoke once. It will stop because we refused not to stop speaking about this particular issue. It is a national crisis, right? We've seen numbers, escalating each and every year. So it is a conversation that we should embrace. It is a conversation that we should continue having right here in the country. And of course, speak out if you are undergoing, any form of gender-based violence. And of course, we've said that gender-based violence cuts across every gender. It cuts across men, women, and also children, right? Don't stay in silence and let gender-based violence kill you slowly. All right, my name is Martin Masharia. That's where we wrap it up here on Morning Life. I was joined by Esther Omweno, who's a counseling psychologist. We've been discussing matters gender-based violence, and just in case you've missed out on that particular conversation, you can actually get that on our socials on Facebook and as well as on YouTube. My name is Martin Masharia. Do have yourself a good morning. Your faith today is coming up next in the top of the hour at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss that particular show. And of course, let's meet again in the course of the day, even as we continue keeping you up to speed, what's happening from across our 47 counties and of course across our borders as far as news is concerned. But until then, let's do this again when God says we do.